Hello, I am Sylvia Ray. I own a company called Lucky Me Designs. I've been doing this for several years. The first few years I was doing it out of my house, and 5 months ago I moved into a storefront. So you guys were asking about how I hoop my hat so that we can get the design as close to the brim as we possibly can. As I mentioned, Richardson hats are my favorite hats to embroider. They are also customers' favorite hats. Right now, it is very hard to get these hats. It's been about a year that it is so hard to get them. Thank you, pandemic or whoever. But anyway, the first thing that I do, I've already started doing it, is I take masking tape and I tape the little flap out of the way. So very first thing that I do, so that we don't stitch on that. I've done it many times, and so I've just learned to keep masking tape so that I can just tape that little flap out of the way. And the hoop that I have is it's the newest one from Babylock. And where is it? Oh, it's right here. It's on the machine. I have this stand. I don't know if it's a Babylock stand or a brother stand or what it is. And it's got a place back here for your jig, but it's back there. So I just clamped it down here. And the first thing that I do right here, I didn't cut this piece of tape long enough. It keeps... Okay. This is so simple. If you don't have this hoop, if you're looking at the Hoop Tech Generation 2 hoop or whatnot, I strongly recommend getting this one. I will comment what the actual model of it is or style of it. I believe it's made by Babylock, but it'll work on any Babylock multi-needle machine that has the screen going vertical. There are some older models that have the screen going horizontal. This hoop will not work on those machines, only on machines that are going vertical. So the way that I hoop it is, there is the little seam, and this hat is a good example. It's got that white seam going across. This is your center line. I line it up with this center seam, and then on the sides I make sure that it's just on the outside of that seam as well. And then I will bring it over to my jig, and this is the frame itself. It goes into the jig just like that. Under here there's a lock and unlock button. You move it over to lock, and I just squeeze this, kind of holding it in place so that it doesn't move. I just squeeze it and slide it in on both sides, and then you're going to hear a ratchet sound. You push it down as far as you can. There's these little clips. They look like little binder clips. They came with it. And on the frame itself, there's some little metal pieces. You just clip it in place. And then you bring it over to your machine. And on the machine, I have the little clip that goes right over where the bobbin goes. I only use this when I'm doing hats or when I'm using my scan mat, when I'm trying to scan something that I want my machine to digitize. And that's a whole other story, that scan mat. That's been fun to learn. Anyway, you line it up and you just put it right in place. Now, I'm gonna go over to my screen. Let me see if I can maybe zoom in a little. Move this little tripod in. I keep my machine, I don't use the USB on the side where you transfer your images to a USB and then you attach it to your machine. I had a 6 needle Babylock Endurance 2, and by using that USB over and over, I kind of messed it up, and then you had to like hold it just so that the machine would read it. And so I bought this, I think it's like a 25-foot cable from Amazon. The brand is Anker, Anker, I believe. And so I just keep it always plugged in directly to my computer. So then after I get my design exactly the way that I want it and in Brilliance, I save it and then I just drag and drop it over to my machine. And so it'll be here. So I believe this is the design that everyone was looking at. So I'm going to place it. When I go to edit end, it turns it upside down because the machine recognizes that it's a hat hoop. So the first thing I'm going to do is scoot it all the way down as far as it'll go. And then I'm going to go to this side as far as it will go. This particular hoop is the range, the width that it will embroider on your hat is 5 inches. So this being the center, I've scooted it as far over as I possibly can within those 5 inches. Now, I'm not going to use black thread, and I do not anchor my threads because I run this machine about 3 to 4 hours on an average day. If I have large embroidery orders like I do right now, I'm working on an 84 hat order, then it runs about 8 to 10 hours a day. But what I do to change the color, let me zoom in down here maybe to these buttons, is I go to this button right here, and then I'm gonna go with pink on this one, and that's on needle number 5. So that changed it. Now it's on needle number 5. So I've got that all ready to go. All I need to do is press my lock button and my start button, and I will do that now, and this is going to take less than 2 minutes. So let's let that run real quick. Okay, and it is done. So now I'm going to first do that. I don't like that blinking light all the time. Just remove it from the machine. I put it back on the jig because this just makes it easier. I unlock it down here and just pull it straight up. I remove this tape real quickly. Really, I didn't have to remove it or tape it back all the way around because the image wasn't going to be in the center. Oh, another thing that I do is these extra little threads inside, I can either clip them off. Sometimes I don't know where my lighter is, but I'll keep a lighter and then I just burn those off real quick. Sometimes I don't, doesn't bother anything. But here is the image on the stitch on the cap. I don't think it's as low as that other one was, but it is still, I've got my ruler right here, and it's about a 1/4 inch from the bottom, from that white stitch. So that has been the issue with a lot of us making baseball caps, is we want to get that image as low down to the brim as we possibly can. And so like I said, this does 5 inches. So if I had a full 5-inch design, it would go, this is not the wide cap frame, I think, is, you can get one like that, but mine is just the regular one, and that is as close as it got to the brim. And I actually have about 5 or 6 hats I'm sending to a customer right now. He's had a lot of edits on the caps that he ordered, and I had to change font a few times, but I got his image down pretty low. The largest image that I can do on this hat hoop is 2.25 inches tall. Sometimes 2.3 inches, just depending how the machine is feeling that day. Oh, I have one right here, one of his. I'll show it. I didn't put that one in the mailer bag, but this is the one that I did for him, so you can see how close that is down to the bottom, and then the little ribbon was on the edge of the stitching field. That is what I do to get my designs as low as I possibly can. So I hope this video helped you. If you have any other questions or I can make any others, let me know. Again, my name is Sylvia Ray. I'm with Lucky Me Designs, and I really appreciate you watching today. Thanks.